So how do you actually start looking for your master's degree? Well, first of all, it's safe to say things are a lot more complex at postgrad level. At undergrad level, you've got fairly broad bachelor's degrees in fairly broad subjects. That's how undergraduate study works. Bachelor of Arts in History, Bachelor of Science in Chemistry. You do have those kind of degrees at postgrad level, but they're also a lot more specialised, many more specialised options. So you might have a Master of Arts in Medieval History, or a Master of Science in Polymer Chemistry, and so on and so forth. There are also lots of courses that aren't just MA or MSc qualifications. There are shorter postgraduate certificates and diplomas. There are more specialised professional and vocational degrees, and so on. Then there are also different ways to study at postgrad level, not just in terms of part-time or full-time, but also in terms of taught courses and more independent research courses. And then there are the hundreds, if not thousands, of universities to choose between when you're trying to find your master's degree. So, where do you start? Let's take a look. So the first thing you should do when you're looking for a master's degree is actually stop, slow down, and get reacquainted with your subject area. There are going to be so many more options available to you. Some of them are going to be really specialised, which is really cool. You might have the chance to do an entire master's in the particular thing you really enjoyed at undergrad level, but all these options can also be a bit bewildering. So it's a good idea to get your bearings. You can use a site like Find a Masters to just explore the kinds of specialisms and programs that are offered in a particular area. So, select the discipline that interests you, scroll through, see what you see, and get a sense of what's out there. You can also just try punching a few keywords in and seeing what comes up. You might actually be surprised what you find. The next thing to do, once you've got a sense of what's out there, is to start diving into the details and look really closely at the course descriptions for the different masters you're interested in. Even if two courses look the same, they almost certainly won't be. There's lots to consider. Here are a few things to start with. First of all, most obviously, look at the specific modules. See what you'll actually study on that master's, because it'll be different to other master's degrees at other universities, even if they look quite similar from the course title. The modules, as well as being what you'll actually study, they reflect the staff interest and expertise. That's really important at postgrad level when you'll be working more closely with those academics. Do these sound like the sorts of things you're really interested in learning about and potentially researching for yourself? Also, you may see some information about assessment methods. Now, looking at that might feel like you're getting a bit ahead of yourself, but it's useful to know whether or not you're going to be examined using exams or coursework. How many essays will you have to write? Roughly how long will they be? How many of each? What kind of assessment methods do you prefer? Another thing to look at is the timetable for the course, if you can find it. How flexible is this? Will you be able to fit those class times around other commitments? Will that suit you in terms of travel and so on? You might also be able to see a bit of information on the tutors responsible for that course and potentially find out a bit more about them. What are their research interests? What are they researching now? This can be really handy if you're thinking ahead to your dissertation and the options you might have for that. Finally, look at the fees too. These will vary a lot between courses. We've actually put together a separate video on that. Chances are, when you're looking at these different options, you won't just be seeing MA or MSc courses. You might see a few other types of qualification. So for example, you might come across postgraduate certificate, PGCert, or postgraduate diploma, PGDip courses. These are kind of like shorter master's degrees. They don't usually include as many modules or a dissertation, but they can be worth considering if you want to complete a course more quickly or more flexibly. You might also find something called an MRes, a Master of Research. As the name suggests, this is a research-focused master's. So if you pick a course like this, you might still have some modules to complete, but you'll be spending a lot more time on independent project work, which might be exactly what you're after. If you're not sure what you're seeing, check out the guides on our site to understand the different types of qualifications that are available to you at this level. It can also be a good idea to find out a bit more about the university offering the Masters. So you can use institution profiles on our site to see a bit more about the department or the institution in general. You can also look at rankings if you like. I'll take that with a bit of a pinch of salt at postgrad level, and I've explained why in a separate video. Another thing to keep an eye out for is any upcoming open days, particularly as these are likely to be virtual right now. And again, you can see these on our course listings. You know, if a university has an event coming up, obviously that's a great way to find out a bit more about an institution, potentially chat to staff or current students. You could also, if you're thinking ahead to a potential PhD, have a little bit of a look at the kind of research that university does at the moment. And actually, the best way to see that is probably by checking Find a PhD, looking at the kind of projects they've currently got listed. So here are a few tips to help you search for a master's and a few hacks you might like to try as well. First question you might have, should I stay or should I go? You know, chances are you're at university at the moment doing your undergrad, or you've graduated from a university in the past and you'll be considering going back there or staying there. I would say always consider both options. Your current university will have a familiarity that will help you settle in. They might also offer you an alumni discount, that's quite common now. But you know, it's a bit daft not to at least check and see what else is available. So as I say, you know, even if you've got a university you're very happy with, pop your subject area in and see what else is out there. Following on from that, when you do find an interesting course, pop its title in as a keyword search and see what else comes up. There might be other courses out there that are even better. Really important as well, when you see a fee for a postgrad course, don't assume that is the fee, okay? Chances are it's going to vary a lot between different programs. Don't hesitate to get in touch with the uni. You can use the contact forms on our website to do that. They will be happy to hear from you and answer questions. If you can't see a specific detail about the course, or you want to know a bit more about some of the modules, ask. Finally, postgrad study changes a lot more than undergrad study, and it's actually really worth staying up to date with what's happening. One way to do that is by subscribing to our newsletter. We send that every week, it's completely free, and that includes interesting courses that have come onto the site, new funding opportunities, upcoming open days, and so on. Another way to stay up to date is by subscribing to our channel, watching a few of our other videos, and just keeping an eye on what we're up to. And of course, the Find a Master's website itself has all the latest information about postgrad study, and new degrees and programs are being added to our site all the time. So keep an eye on it.